I wanted to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be able to present this session. I wanted to first and foremost thank our sponsors that have been supporting us throughout this year with our Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau, as well as Shepherd Audiovisual. But today we really wanted to kind of jump in and get started. And working with Jennifer over the last few months, we know what a wonderful session we have for you today. So I want to be able to introduce you to Jennifer Darling. She is a master at creating visibility, making noise, and building relationships using LinkedIn. Her posts have generated tens of thousands of views, and she's grown her network to over 5,000 qualified connections. Jennifer Darling is one of the world's foremost LinkedIn experts and the only one who has 20 plus years of advertising sales experience. Jennifer has trained thousands of salespeople, consultants, speakers, authors, and experts to maximize their LinkedIn results without having to invest hours upon hours each week or becoming a social media expert. Jennifer is also the author of Your Leads with LinkedIn, 52 Tips for Success, Sales Success, and creator of Mastering LinkedIn Deep Dive Virtual Training. When she's not teaching people on how to use LinkedIn, she's chasing her Yorkie Finnegan or snuggling with her 130-pound lap dog, who is a Bernese Mountain Dog, Roxy. We need to see pictures of these guys. So without further ado, I would like to pass the stage over to Jennifer to get us started.
Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I just want to give you a quick warning is that this is a jam-packed content session. So make sure that you get plenty of paper. I have had people tell me, Jennifer, I've taken 9 pages of notes. And so make sure you get a lot of paper and pens because I'm about to blow your minds with what you can do on LinkedIn to help you increase your sales. Okay, so let me go over here and share screen and we're going to get right into it. Okay, so Denise, Ken, and Karen, you 3 are on my screen. So you're going to help me today to make sure that I have the right things on my screen. Can you currently see my full PowerPoint slide? Excellent. Okay, here we go. 3 strategies. Well, actually, it's probably a lot more than 3, but 3 sounds like a good number, so we're going with that. So 3 strategies to help you get high-paying prospects on LinkedIn. And here's what we're going to cover today. Why do you want to use LinkedIn for sales and marketing? We are not talking about job seeking today. This is not a job seeking LinkedIn training. This is a sales and marketing training to get you leads. And I'm going to share with you what works and what does not work to attract and convert sales leads for your business. And I'm also going to talk with you a little bit about how to increase your visibility so you have a bigger audience in which you can attract more business. I'm going to share with you some business success stories. And if we have time at the end, we'll do some live Q&A. Here is the thing. LinkedIn has always been seen as a job seeker tool. And it's true, it's awesome for that. But it is the most powerful sales and marketing digital tool that you can have for B2B sales. According to Hootsuite, LinkedIn generates 80% of the B2B leads coming from any social media. This is where the business people are hanging out, obviously. And with all that's changed in the last 18 months, there's been more and more and more business conversations, business news, and business networking on LinkedIn than any other platform. There are over 675 million people using LinkedIn every single month across the globe, and over 61 million of those people are high-level decision makers, the people who have the money and the opportunity to say yes to hiring you. Now on LinkedIn, I look at it as you have 4 opportunities of which you can position yourself and you can really stand out in front of your ideal prospects. And the first thing is to position yourself as the go-to expert in your industry so that when your prospect is thinking of who they're going to go and purchase something from or who they're going to buy or have a conversation with, they're thinking of you first. and sometimes only you. If you do the right things on LinkedIn, they don't even have to go shopping around. And I'm going to share with you a few of my strategies that I've used to help me and my clients position ourselves as the go-to experts today, so you can use those same strategies for yourself. And the second opportunity here is that you can increase your visibility with prospects who have moolah, who have money to invest. This is not like hanging out on some other social media platforms where people are sitting at home watching Jerry Springer in the boob tube. No, this is really high level B2B prospects, the kind that you're looking for, who influence the decision making. And third, you can build know, like, and trust. You've all heard of this. Nothing new. Build know, like, and trust with decision makers. That's true. But how in the world are you going to do that when we're not quite fully back into being in person? You have to build know, like, and trust somehow. And in LinkedIn, you can do that with decision makers, giving some of the strategies, using some of the strategies I'm going to teach you today. And the last thing is, you have the opportunity to nurture your referral partners, to turn them into champions for your business so that you have a steady flow of incoming leads. Now, I know most of you are salespeople here, and some of you probably make a lot of cold calls. I was never really good at making cold calls. Did I make them? Yeah, I had to. But did I love making cold calls? So I had to find other ways to get incoming leads. And using LinkedIn is a great way to do that if you are nurturing your referral champions. And I'll share with you how to do that today too. LinkedIn is so special to me because what I have found in the last 18 months is that there are 4 ways that you can build friends and build influence with prospects in this new world that we're in. And it's education marketing, which are things like this, showing up and giving educational training to people. It's also things like writing content, sharing a blog, sharing a video. Let's just say you're a hotel property, sharing a video on your hotel property and what's going on there behind the scenes. Virtual networking. You all have been doing more virtual networking, and that's a really great thing. But sometimes we show up to virtual networking and nothing happens afterward. It's like, oh, this was great. I met a lot of people, but you didn't get them in your funnel. You didn't get them in your sales funnel. You didn't connect with them on LinkedIn. And now there's really nothing that's happening afterward. Referral champions. I talked about that a bit. And referral champions are excellent partners right now in LinkedIn. The cool thing about LinkedIn is that it's 2 places in the sales funnel. The first place is for you to be able to go and find new people to connect with. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. But the second place is if you are talking at education, marketing events, your virtual networking, and you have referral champions, LinkedIn can be the thread through those other 3 things so that you are building top of mind awareness and staying in contact after you do something with education marketing, put out some content, do a training, or your virtual networking and your referral champions, you can stay in front of them too. So I like it because it has 2 places in the sales funnel that work really well to support your business. So let's dive into increasing your leads with LinkedIn. This is me. I'm Jennifer Darling. Please make sure you connect with me. You'll find my URL at Jennifer Darling Speaks. There's another Jennifer Darling who has just the Jennifer Darling URL, and she hasn't given me her price yet to purchase it from her. So you have to find me at Jennifer Darling Speaks. This is what I look like. I have 25 years of experience in sales and marketing, generating leads and business. And today I'm going to share with you all the things I do in LinkedIn to get me more business coming in my door, even during very difficult sales times. I'm a speaker, so just like you imagine my business went in the can in March last year, but using a lot of things I'm teaching you, I actually had my best year ever. So you could do that too. Okay, so the first challenge as salespeople is that you need more leads to make your sales goals. You do now, and you do forever, because the more money you make, being in sales, you'll want to make even more money, so you'll increase your sales goals anyway. That means we always have to have a consistent incoming flow of leads in our funnel. And we don't have all the time in the world to do that. So I'm going to give you 2 strategies right now on LinkedIn. Make sure you write these down, that are going to help you create more of your own opportunities. And the first one is to grow your network on LinkedIn wide. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I was in advertising sales, and I can tell you the reason that a lot of big companies spent the most money in Super Bowl ads is because they could reach the most people. And the more people they reach, the more opportunities they create for themselves. In LinkedIn, the key is you want more people to know about you. I get leads. I got one yesterday. I didn't even know the person who sent me the lead. Susan sent me your way. I'm like, oh, Susan's awesome. I don't even know Susan, but I figured she's awesome since she sent me a lead. You know, and you could have this too, as people sending you leads because of the things that you do on LinkedIn, and a lot of people know about you. In LinkedIn, you can have up to 30,000 connections. That's so much bigger than most other social media platforms. And if you only have 200 connections right now and somebody else has 20,000 connections, who do you think has more opportunity? It's, of course, the person with the bigger audience. We want you to have a bigger following. The more connections, the more opportunity that you have for people to get to know you. They used to say it's all about who you know. Well, that's true. It's about who you know. But I would rather have people know me. The more people who know you, the more opportunities you create. Okay, so let me give you an example of how you can go and search for new people to connect with in LinkedIn. So my client, Nina, she was looking to connect with Twitter at the beginning of COVID. And what she was looking for is she knew that things were going to virtual, and she knew how to teach people how to manage virtual teams. So we wanted to go looking for Twitter, and we wanted to find somebody in their HR department to reach out to that person. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up into the LinkedIn search bar, and all you are going to do is put your cursor in there and hit enter. Don't type anything in, cursor, enter. All right, and then a new screen is going to pop up, and there's going to be this button over on the far right. You're welcome to take pictures of my screen if you'd like. So grab your phone and take a picture of this one, because this could be a little bit tricky. So either take notes or grab a screenshot of this. So click on all filters right here. And what'll happen when you do that is you actually won't open a new window like we just did. You'll open a pop-up. And on the pop-up, you will be able to scroll through and select different criteria of which you could pull a search for. Now, when I'm pulling a general list, I will typically start with my geographic location. So I'm in Sacramento, California, so I'll start with Sacramento, and then I can make my list bigger by adding more locations, but there's already going to be a huge list involved here. Now, if you are focusing on a specific region in the country that's not the region you're networking in or you're doing business in, then you just go select whatever location it is that you want to look for. So you select location or not. In this case, we're not selecting location because we don't know where the HR people are in Twitter. So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to come up with a box here, and you have keywords. This to me is a gold mine, because you can type in title and company. So what we did was we typed in human resources in Twitter, and we hit show results. Nothing came up. You're like, Jennifer, why are you showing me this if nothing came up? Because HR managers is not what they call their people in Twitter. So we had to get a little bit creative. And we went to talent. We typed in the word talent. And what we found was they're called talent development, talent acquisition, talent, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't find something right away, you just might have to get a little creative with the title. So we typed in talent and company Twitter, and 3 people came up. It was perfect. Now that we have those 3 people, we can start to go investigate their profiles, see what they're into, and come up with a really great reason to connect with them before we hit that connect button. Because y'all know that there's a right way and a wrong way to start a connection request, and nobody wants to get off on the wrong foot. And the wrong foot is that sleazy, slimy email that you get all the time in LinkedIn. Number 1 complaint when I'm doing these trainings is, Jennifer, I hate to get those spammy messages, people trying to sell me stuff all the time in LinkedIn. You don't want to be that person, because if your buyer receives the first message from you is a sales pitch, this is their reaction. They do not want you pitch slapping them. You have to be very careful when you say that. I said pitch. They don't want you pitch slapping them. They want you to show up and be authentic. Now, there's many ways that you can do that. I just had a client create a super, super cool video with a voiceover, because she actually doesn't do well on video like this. So she created this super cool video, and it was a time warp video of her making some jewelry, and then she voiced over the video, all using technology that she has right on her computer or smartphone. And then that's a message that she can send out. That's highly creative, and people will be more responsive to that than the just, hey, Denise, I'd like to connect with you and share with you why, my company's the best. And, oh, and I want to learn a little about you. Nobody even read that I want to learn a little about you because, you said all about yourself first. So here's a better way to go about that. This is what I call an engagement strategy. And so this is Craig Carter. He owns a product that is a digital device that helps hotels measure their customer loyalty. So this is what you can do, is what I told Craig to do, and it worked very well. Make a top 10 list of your best prospects. He did that. And he, instead of connecting, he followed them on LinkedIn. When you follow, what happens is you start to get their content in your news feed, but you haven't connected yet, but you can still follow them. And what he was looking to do was to see when they were going to put a relevant post of which he could start to engage with. So they did. The general manager of the hotel put a post about how they had just won an award for customer service. So Craig goes on to the post, and instead of saying, great job, nice work, nice job, the things that everybody else is saying, we want to stand out. So he says something more specific. He reads a whole post, and something in the middle of the post stands out, and he replies to that part of the post. And then he and this prospect start going back and forth on the prospect's LinkedIn profile, on that comment, on that post. And before you know it, the prospect is messaging Craig same day and says, do you have a few minutes to jump on the phone? And Craig got on the phone with them. And in that first call, he closed a $10,000 deal with this hotel. And then since then, it's been his client for 3 years, and he's gotten in more properties with the hotel. This engagement strategy works so much better. It does take a little bit more time than just, blasting out a whole bunch of copy paste messages, but people appreciate it, and you get that one great prospect's attention. So your first strategy here today is to use this engagement strategy on your top 10 prospects. Okay, so the second thing here is that we want to grow a network that is a deep network. Now, let me describe what deep network means. It means the people who already know you. Your best salespeople are the people who already love you. They're your best clients now. They're your previous clients you've worked with. They're suppliers you've worked with in the past. They're colleagues that have gone to different places. You want to make sure you have all the people that you already know in your LinkedIn network. And sometimes people say, well, but I already am connecting with my customers on an ongoing basis. Well, that's true, but if you put them in LinkedIn, you might be connecting with them daily and giving them value daily so that they're thinking of you whenever a referral opportunity comes up. You want to make sure that you are giving as much value to your current clients in LinkedIn as you are to all the new people that you meet. Your best opportunities are people who already work with you. And those are your best referral champions because they transfer the know, like, and trust when they introduce you to somebody else. That know, like, and trust is amplified. It comes along with the relationship because it's your job just to do a great job for your customer and the referral. So we're looking to add to your network people who you already know. And here's some different ideas on that list. Take a screenshot of this or write these down. Current customers, past customers, suppliers, industry leaders, people who are movers and shakers in your industry. I have a couple regional banks around here, and one of my big types of clients to speak to are banks and insurance. So I'm going to want to be connected with the presidents and the decision makers of the banks and insurance companies, right? Community leaders. So I'm in the Sacramento area. I'm going to network with the person who's in charge of the Chamber of Commerce, Visit Sacramento. I'm in connection with the people at the local business journal. All those people you want in your network. Networking groups like this one. And people here today. So one thing you should all do, not right this second, but maybe near the end, is go grab your LinkedIn URL and put it in the chat room. Because these people right here, they're here to learn too. And these could be some of your best referral partners. So make sure you connect with everybody that's here today and grab your URL, post it in the chat room, and you can all start connecting. So this is Chuck Thoki. He's one of my clients. Now, this is what's really interesting to me, especially for some of you. I know some of you probably work for smaller companies. Others of you probably work for really large organizations. Well, there is no, usually, I've never seen one, is no directory for the salesperson at a large organization. If you work for Hyatt, there's probably not a directory with your name that's coming up at the top if I want to search you to reach you and to book you, right? So here's the thing. You need to have this LinkedIn profile so that when people search, it's your LinkedIn profile that's coming up on their Google search. If you have a great LinkedIn profile and they type in sales trainer Sacramento, which is what happened to me, my LinkedIn profile came up first and I was booked for a piece of business because it was so good. So Chuck Thoki, here's what happened with Chuck. Chuck has a client who gave him a referral. We'll call that referral the prospect. And what happened was the prospect goes on to Google and starts searching for Chuck Thoki. There is no Chuck Thoki website. His website is called Business Success Advisors. So he's not finding him in that way. The prospect is not finding Chuck in that way. And this is a hot lead. It's a referral. So what happens instead is because Chuck had a really great LinkedIn profile, his LinkedIn profile pops up. A lot of people then will go to LinkedIn profile and it's really sparse. It doesn't have a marketing message. It looks like you have looking for a job, but that's not what happened with Chuck. We have this amazing banner that grabs our attention, explode sales, increase profits, and grow. Heck yeah, I want a part of that. We also have Chuck's email and phone number, so the prospect can easily get in touch with Chuck. He doesn't have to work with Chuck. And then as we go through the profile, you'll see in the about section, it's all about the customer. It's not about how great Chuck is, how awesome he is, how long he's been a sales trainer. It's none of that. It's all about the prospect's challenges. And we'll talk about this more in just a couple minutes. And what happens is, since Chuck had all of this, like a marketing brochure for Chuck, since he had all this completed in LinkedIn and it was all customer focused, all that prospect had to do was reach out to Chuck. They had already done their homework looking on Chuck's profile, and they booked Chuck for a $100,000 new business deal. One phone call, because everything was already there for him to then be able to make his decision. People are looking at LinkedIn at your profile right now today. Does it represent what you want your customers or prospects or referral partners to see? Or does it look like you're job seeking? I'm going to show you how to change that in just a few minutes. All right, the second challenge that salespeople have is that at any one time, less than 1%, and it might be even less than 0.01% of your ideal clients that are cold leads are ready to buy today. So that means that if less than 1% are in the market to buy today, you're probably getting a headache thinking about that. 99% of people are in the market to buy tomorrow. And it's your job as a prospector to find all the people who are in the market to buy today, no doubt about it, especially in today's crazy changing market that is changing like, I don't know, Denise, hourly, right? Luckily, I'm still traveling next week to South Carolina and the week after to Texas for conferences, but who knows what's going to happen the third week in September, right? Things are changing. So we have to find everybody in the market to buy today. And very importantly, we need to build top of mind awareness with all of the prospects and 99% of other people to buy in the market tomorrow. Because the thing is, things might change at the end of September or October, but eventually they're going to come back and they're going to be wildly exploding, right? And you want to be the person that they think of first and the only person when they are ready to buy. We don't want clients to work hard, and nobody really wants to work hard. I don't know about you. I don't really want to work hard. Denise, Ken, do you guys want to really work hard if stuff's coming to you? No. Like, I want to do what I was doing yesterday. I was at a waterfall answering emails. That's my cup of tea, right? We want people not to have to work hard. You do the work, and then they won't have to work hard, and they'll easily want to work with you. So that means that you'll need to position yourself as the go-to expert with a strategic content plan. A lot of people waste time in LinkedIn doing things that don't make any difference whatsoever when it comes to getting prospects, building relationships, building referral champions. So I'm going to give you 4 types of power posts that are really going to set your LinkedIn world on fire. And I'll just mention real quick, I did some research in your industry and I researched your buyers. I actually interviewed buyers. And what I heard from them was that they want to hear 3 things from you. And then I'll do the PowerPoint post, because these 3 things go into the PowerPoint post. That's hard to say. Power post. Market updates. What's going on in your market? What's going on around your town? What's going on in your state? Industry updates. What's going on in your industry? How are things changing? And there's updates hourly. And then the 3rd thing is solutions to solve their problems, creative ideas. We got a load of problems right now in the events and conference industry. If you're there to help them solve their problems and give people ideas, that's gold. Okay, so here's what you can do. So I call this a 1 idea repurposing formula, because you don't have all day long and all week long for you to be able to create content. Nobody has that. So what I take a look at is, what are the common questions that my customers are asking me frequently? One common question is, how do I get more visibility on LinkedIn? So I take that 1 idea and then I write myself out. Either I do a mind map, or I do an outline, or I just start with writing a blog. And I'll write out like 3 or 4 different ways people can increase their visibility with LinkedIn. And then I use that 1 concept and I create 4 different kinds of power posts: articles, videos, flipbooks, and a visibility accelerator post. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. Okay, so the first thing that I like to start with is actually an article, or you could call it a blog. And the reason I like to start with that is it's simple for me to be able to create that and then repurpose that into the other kinds of power posts. And also, I learned that 45% of article readers are high-level decision makers. You've heard the saying that leaders are readers. Well, it is true. Decision makers read articles. And so for that very reason, it would be very helpful and beneficial to you if you actually have posts and blog posts that are about solving your customers' problems, about giving them market and industry updates. I had a prospect come to me. Actually, she was in the Ohio area. She was in Cincinnati, and she heard me on a podcast, and she went from that podcast to connecting with me on LinkedIn. And then what she did next was she went and read a bunch of my articles that I had. And then she called me on the phone and she said, Jennifer, I'd like to hire you for my sales team to come in and do some training. And I'm like, that's awesome. And, I figure I have to have some kind of like a sales call, conversation, needs analysis, whatever. None of that, because she's already done her homework and she's ready to buy. So this is the power of you having articles. Plus, articles are searchable on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. So that increases your own professional branding online. So not only can they find you on LinkedIn, but they can find you if they Google search. You want to be the person that if they type in whatever in your industry, person in Cincinnati, that your LinkedIn profile comes up. Make it easy for them. The second thing you could do with that idea, and so we're going on 3 ways you can increase your visibility with LinkedIn, is create what I call these really simple flip books. They're so easy to do because you're going to take the same 1 idea. Let's just say you have 1 idea, you give 3 tips. You can create these really easy flip books. You can either hire somebody to do it. If you have a marketing or graphic designer, send it to them. I created these like in 5-10 minutes watching TV on PowerPoint. And so here are, these just are extraordinary because you get major views on these. Not a lot of people know how to even do these or that they exist. So you'll stand out from your competition this way and you will get a lot of engagement. I'm going to flip over to LinkedIn real quick because I'm going to show you how this puppy works. This is so cool. Okay, so let's go over here. Let me pull the screen back over here and can you see Ron's LinkedIn profile?
I can.
Awesome. Okay, Denise can too. Okay, this is Ron. He just joined us. Okay, so Ron, we also want to make sure we get a photo, a headshot of you in here. We want to see your handsome mug right here. I'm assuming it's handsome, Ron. Oh, it is, because I saw you a little bit earlier. Okay, so we're going to go to posts and activities here. Okay, so articles and documents, they have a permanent place in your LinkedIn profile. So your prospects can go here and see all of the value that you'd like to share with them. And they can just scroll through here, how to get business leads on LinkedIn, what your potential clients wish you knew, what's this new feature. I mean, these are all ones I've done recently. 6 tips to get more audience engagement. Okay, so let's use this one here. This is an article I created. I took that same exact article and I made that into one of those flip books, which is a document. And now I can scroll down here. And here's the flip book, 6 tips to get more engagement. And all I have to do is scroll on this button. When people start to click and scroll, they're engaging in your content. And this is an awesome thing to have them do. And now what you want to do is at the very end of this type of flip book is you want to put a call to action. And you want to put some more information, a marketing piece about you and your organization. You want to do this at the end of every single one of these documents and at the end of every single blog you do. Always put a call to action. Now you'll get bonus points, big bonus points if you have a lead magnet. I do not see a lot of salespeople do a lead magnet. And what that is it's something amazing, a free gift that you're going to give people that they're going to want to give you their email address for. Because when they give you their email address, you can continue to remarket to them by sending them more value, not a whole bunch of promotion stuff. They'll buy you if you send them value. And then you'll be reaching them on LinkedIn and in your email with a top of mind awareness campaign. So something like the top 10 trends in the events industry. And you probably can work with PCMA Power Chapter to come up with some top 10 trends that are happening. And they're probably changing every quarter. So you could have a new updated report, a market report. People would love to get that from you. And oh, look, this gets thousands of views. So you're literally reaching thousands of people in and out of your network. They're not only first person connections, they could be outside of that. So here we are. Here's that client from Cincinnati I just told you about. And Wells Fargo, that's another client of mine. If I scroll down, I can see here who's actually seeing those posts. Epic Insurance, a client. Safe Credit Union, a client. I can see everywhere they're coming from. Sacramento, San Francisco, Toronto, Canada. And I can see what level their job title is. Now, to me, the most important thing is to come over here and see who's seeing my posts from what company. And if they are former clients of mine, that's awesome because I know that they can be great referral partners. And also, if I see a bump in that, I might want to go reach out to them and check in with them and see what's going on in their world. So all you have to do is click this button here and you will see that information. Now, what I want to show you real quick is the most simple of these get the most views. So if I click through this one's a fancy one. I hired a graphic artist to do it. It's really pretty, but it doesn't get as many views. So this one got 1,300 as this really super simple one, less than 100 words per page on this, 5,000 views. So make it simple. Don't make it tough on yourself. Make it super duper simple. Okay, we're going to go back to that PowerPoint, Ken.
Jennifer, while you're popping over there, we have a question in the chat with regards to everything that you're showing. Is that enterprise or premium version of LinkedIn or free version?
All free version of LinkedIn. I actually canceled Sales Navigator. Don't tell LinkedIn. They probably don't want to hear that. But I just wasn't using it. There are some benefits to using Sales Navigator for salespeople in your industry. But all the stuff I'm teaching you today, you can do with the free version of LinkedIn. And I get incoming leads all the time doing these things. So great question. Okay, so let's go to the third kind of post. Now, this is actually the one I would start with if I was you, because it's the easiest one to create. I call this a short story or visibility accelerator post. And it literally is some type of story about your industry. So it could be calls are flooding in to book the convention center, the Dayton Convention Center this week. It's such a great problem to have. And then you could go through and tell a little bit more of the story. It's why I love working in this industry. It's so fabulous. But we have had to change a lot of the ways we run conferences at the Dayton Convention Center. And we have to have more space. I mean, all those things you can talk about, all the things that are affecting you right now. We're putting together a meal plan for a 1,000-person event. Can you imagine the undertaking of this? Because we have to have gluten-free, dairy-free, alcohol-free, blah, 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 blah on here. So just talk about any inspiration that is happening in your world, even if it's a personal inspiration positioned into a business lesson is a hot topic as well, because then people can see your personal side and they'll engage a lot more. So in this particular kind of post, you'll notice a couple of things. One is after every sentence, I hit enter. That's important for this kind of post. Make a sentence or 2 sentences and hit enter. It has to have a lot of white space. You want to use about 1,300 characters, no links to anything else. You can have 2 to 3 hashtags. This one, I don't even have any hashtags on this particular post. It is all text. Right now, all text is still the #1 most viewed post in LinkedIn over anything else. So use all text, no links. You can use links in other posts, just test it. But for this particular style, no links. This post had 6,000 views in 1 week. But even more importantly, look at 119 engagements and 59 comments. So this kind of post is a story, headline, the story, and then what I like to do is ask the audience to engage. So either ask them a question. This particular one is love to hear your ideas of things you'd like to do. Post in the comments. So get people engaged in this post. So there's the marketing piece, the story, and then there's the technical piece, which is entering after every single sentence. So Nora O'Brien is a client of mine. She's in emergency management and business continuity, and she used that same strategy that I just showed you, the short story post. She was sending out emails to her clients and having a 20% open rate, which is a really good open rate, 20%. But that meant that 80% of her clients were not opening the email. And we really had a big industry update that we needed people to know about, which was a change in the Medicare and Medicaid industry system. And so what happened was we added this post, a short story post, and we had 3,000 views in 1 day. She had 50 people come to her educational marketing event, her free virtual thing, and she booked a number of consulting clients at a $25,000 package each. So this kind of system works really well where you do the short story post, you invite people to a virtual networking event, and then you can make an offer at the end. But you just want to make sure the virtual networking event or training like this is full of value. It's not a total sales pitch. Like I've been talking for 45 minutes, giving you tips. I've not once given you a sales pitch. That's the kind of thing that you want to do for people. Okay, the 4th power post is video. Video is super hot, and especially in your industry where you have a lot to show. This is my client, Rex Miller. He has a video here, it went viral, 200,000 views. But on a normal case, he gets between 1,500 and 2,500 views, which is still fantastic. And so he just talks about things that he's inspired by that have to do with his business. So he works and he teaches people how to have a healthy workplace. So here he is talking here he is in his hotel room talking about some wellness. Here he is, another hotel room shot. I like to make fun of him because I'm like, why didn't you make your bed if you're going to do a video? But still, that video got 2,600 views. And this one here's outside in his neighborhood. It doesn't even have great lighting. The reason I show you these is because a lot of people hold back from doing video because they're afraid of what they're going to look like, or they're afraid of messing up in what they say. You know what? Don't worry about that, because people care more about the value that you give than if you mess up. Like I think really fast. I don't talk as fast as I can think. And sometimes I make up my own words. Sometimes I trip over my words. But is that going to stop me from giving you value? No. If you're in Toastmasters, you're probably counting all my so's and ums. But if you're not, you don't really care. So, just give people value. Don't worry about how it comes out. They will not care. They will only care that you're providing some great information to them. Market updates, industry updates, solutions to their problems. That's what they really care about. Video is hot. And there's a warning that comes with all of this, which is what I call don't post and ghost. So what that means is if you're doing these 4 kinds of power posts and you're never engaging with the people who comment on your posts, you're ghosting people who are very interested in building a relationship with you. The best thing that you can do for building a relationship, building top of mind awareness, and increasing your views is to reply back with more than 5 words, not including their name. LinkedIn likes this. That says, oh, Denise her post is really highly engaged. We want to share it with more people, and you get more views. But beyond the views, you start to build a relationship with people. And if you can get them in a back and forth conversation, like I shared about Craig Carter earlier, you will build yourself a new client or a referral partner. Now, I think of everybody as a referral partner because those referrals can come from anyone. And sometimes referral partners are even more valuable than a client. I have one referral partner that sends me at least 5 clients a year. They're 5 times more valuable than any one client. So think of those referral partners too as people who you really want to engage with. So don't just post your stuff and not come back and engage with people. The most important thing you could do is engage with others or go on their posts and engage. That top 10 list, go on your top 10 prospects and start engaging with them today. Rex has been doing an amazing job on LinkedIn. He's up to 18,000 connections, growing his network huge. Okay, so the third challenge, and to wrap us up and take us home today, is that your LinkedIn profile is repelling your prospects and you don't even know it. I see it all the time. I have assessed over 500 LinkedIn profiles, and here is what I see, is your profile looks like everyone else. There's nothing intriguing. So remember, I was in advertising sales for 20 years. I need your profile to stop me in my tracks, and I need to go, wow, I need to scroll down and read more of that person's. If it looks like everyone else's, then nobody's going to stop. You're blending in. If it looks homemade, it's not the quality you want to attract ideal clients with money. You want it to look like it's amazing. So people, they don't even think about it. They're like, wow, Denise looks great. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to get more information. It's not homemade. It's high quality. You don't want your profile to read like a resume because you're not looking for a job. You're looking for clients. It's so different. So a profile that reads like a resume talks all about you. A profile that reads like a marketing piece talks all about your customers. You're not optimizing your features section. The number one thing that could get people's attention, I'm going to show it to you in a moment. There's no contact information to get a hold of you. Oh, that's a tough one. Because if we land on your profile and there's no phone number or email, or at least even a website to get a hold of you, then we may just end up on somebody else's profile. And if they have that, then they're gone. Prospects and leads on your account are so valuable. We want to give them every opportunity to connect with you. It might be unclear what you do. You have a weak positioning statement. They're not exactly sure. So you want to update that a bit. Okay, so here's what you're going to do to fix that. We want to attract ideal customers so that if they're on your LinkedIn profile and they're ready to buy, you're standing out and you're giving them the information they need to make that decision. So here are 2 things that you can do today that are really easy that you'll be able to make a big difference in your LinkedIn profile. And the first one is to create an enticing headline. You want it to be customer focused with outcomes and results. Think a news headline. So you're hearing or seeing or reading a news story. You notice the headline is very short. It just grabs your attention and then they're on to the rest of the story. It only needs to grab your attention for you to click and then read the story. That's what we're trying to go to here. Now, most people have their job titles in the headline. Well, remember, this is called a headline for a reason. You want to have a customer outcome statement, then followed by your job titles. You still want the job titles in there so they get it. But here's what happens. This one here is Keith Kohler. He's simplifying the SBA disaster loan and paycheck protection program. This is actually an old example, but the reason I show it to you is because whenever COVID started and companies needed loans, we were able to quickly change his banner and headline to something that was a current event, because it's so easy to change. Unlike a website, you got to go hire somebody to do this. You can easily go in and change this. So if your business is changing from today to tomorrow, you can go update your headline right away with that change so your prospects can see it. So for like me, I changed mine to virtual speaker because there's a lot of virtual speaking going on right now. Okay, but what happens is this one line could perhaps be the single most important line in your whole LinkedIn profile, because every time you post, every time you reply, it's the one piece that people are going to see. It gets the most impressions of any other statement because it's out in other people's news feeds. And it's only about the first 10 words that people are going to read. So make it capture their attention and want to click your profile. Helping business leaders with continued success, break through adversity. You want to write a book, tell your story, build a niche, cultivate creativity? Well, yes, I do. Wow your customers, build strong team and leaders, and inspire a culture of blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's awesome. Of course I want to do that. That stands out way more than whatever her job title is that's going to follow this statement. So go change your headline to be customer focused. Somebody in here earlier when we were just riffing before we started, I said, hey, great headline. You remember who you are? Go put your headline in the chat room so everybody could see it. That was a really, really good one. Okay, so the second thing you want to do is build a standout banner. Now you want to think of a banner as like, this is a billboard on a busy freeway with all your best prospects. It needs to be very simple. It's just grabbing their attention and wanting them to scroll down for more. My recommendation is 5 to 7 words. If you have more words than that, or if it's small text, nobody's going to see it. They're not even going to read it. It's going to just go right over their heads. So simple, short phrase. So here are some examples. Well, this is not example. This is a before and after. This is Richard Chenault. He is a manager of about 250 people for Sears in the Northern California region. He is trying to market himself to attract talent. And talent now today is going to LinkedIn to check you out and see if they want to work for your company. Talent is very hard to come by right now. The job pool is small. Here's Richard's new profile. Leading teams to achieve their full potential. So his prospects are talent or people who want to come work for him. Would you rather work for Mugshot Richard? Or would you rather work for innovative, inspirational leader Richard? You don't even have to put that in the chat because I already know the answer. Here's Sandra Summerhays. She's a trainer, a leadership trainer, and she has such a great personality and she's so bright and vibrant, but you wouldn't know it here. And here's her new LinkedIn banner. It stands out, it pops, it really moves. Go hire somebody on Fiverr for 25 bucks to make you an outstanding banner. It will be worth every penny. And then have your call to action. You know, do you want people to call you to book a complimentary marketing strategy or an event strategy or whatever? How are they going to design their amazing next meeting? Right? Put that in here, learn more, but only if you're working for a big company, don't put the company website. You want them to get directly to you. So put your email or your phone number. Here's Marie Rios. She does virtual events, your vision, your event, your way, phone number, email. Joanne Hill works for she's a hospitality consultant for hotels. She focuses on culture, leadership, and revenue. Her website, because she owns the company, that works. Let the adventure begin. Colleen Peters, she owns Woodland Fishing Resort in British Columbia, Canada, a place where I would love to go. Book your escape today. Oh man, we'll probably all be booking this. woodlandsfishingresort.com. Let the adventure begin. See, these are stand out. They make a big impression for people. So those two things you could do right away to build your LinkedIn impression. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is to create a LinkedIn profile that converts. You want to engage your prospects, build influence, and close more business. So here's what's going to happen if a hot prospect gets on your profile. They're going to notice your banner. Does it have a statement that is going to attract their attention? Attract new clients, close more leads. Well, yes, that's exactly what I want. And then they might have already looked at your headline because they may be coming to your profile because they saw your amazing headline whenever you commented on something. So make sure that's there. Connect and engage with customers to activate sales. You want a great headshot because people connect with your face and your eyes first. You heard this old saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. Well, scientifically, what happens is your face and your eyes are the first piece that people start to establish trust with subconsciously. So you want to have a nice close-up picture of yourself. And then they're going to come down to your about section if they see what they like above. And is your about section all about you? You don't want it that way. If I could change one thing and add a word here, it would be about them. And you want to put a statement in here that's going to get their attention. Are you running a business and you want to increase your sales while also making a contribution to the world? Then you're in the right place. And then go on to talk about their problems, the things that are getting in their way, and how your solution helps them solve those challenges. Then they're going to go to the featured section, which I mentioned earlier. This featured section is a gold mine. It is a huge marketing opportunity for you. So you might want to have client testimonial videos here, or if you don't have video testimonials, you could take written testimonials and you could create online a video of the written testimonials. You might want to have a marketing brochure, or you might want to have one of those documents I just showed you. That's a flip book of the opportunities to work with your company and what it looks like, what your pool looks like, what your staff looks like, what your kitchen service looks like, whatever it is, you could have that in the video here. If you want an A+, create that lead magnet I talked about earlier, top 10 things trending in the events and meetings business. Download now, and you could have your lead magnet right here in the second position, and then grab people's email list and continue to give them market updates, industry updates, and solutions to solve their problems. So these two here are big. You could have more, but I really don't think people are going to scroll too much. So make sure you take advantage of these two spaces. And then if they like what they see there, now they're going to go down to your experience. And here's where you can talk about how amazing and awesome you are and what all you've done. You can do that in the experience section. A lot of times I see people flip-flop these. So you may be as simple as going to your experience and going to your about and flip-flopping them, because sometimes they have the about them and the experience. All right. So make sure that this is all about how incredible you are. And you can add more multimedia, PDFs, marketing brochures, testimonials, a video of you. If you get brave, a video would be nice. And then they're going to come down to your recommendations. And if you don't have anything in here, it's not the end of the world. But if you have tons of recommendations from people, I got this one 2 days ago. If you have tons of recommendations and they're current, there's a lot of power. The presence of these is power, because it's social credibility. It's allowing people to know what kind of person you are to work with and what kind of quality of work you do. So start to ask for recommendations. They're so much easier to get LinkedIn than traditionally we used to ask people, could you give me a written recommendation? Nobody has time for writing you a letter of recommendation, but they can quickly write 1 or 2 sentences on LinkedIn for you. And then the last thing they're going to do is go over to your activity, and they're going to see, are you being a market resource for people? Are you writing articles or posting documents or giving me any kind of resources? There was an organization in Sacramento who was pitching a water resources piece of the business, and they were the top company, and they lost to a much smaller competitor because when the two proposals came over, the proposals and the deliverables looked the same. Everything looked the same. So what were they going to base their decision on? Who was their account rep? So how are they going to research their account rep? They went to LinkedIn, and the prospect looked at the big company's LinkedIn profile of their account rep and the little company. And what they saw in the big company is that guy looked like he had a job seeker profile. It was very scarce, nothing on it, nothing interesting to write home about. But the little company's rep, she had an amazing profile that talked about her clients, and future prospects, challenges, issues, problems, and how she helped solve them. She had a huge connection and network of people in the industry, and she was always posting resources. And so they went with a smaller company because they measured the salesperson on what they could find about that salesperson. And what they found was person B was going to be their person because she demonstrated via LinkedIn that she was going to work hard and be a resource. So this stuff could be really important to some prospects who might be checking you out on LinkedIn. All right, so I know that was kind of a lot. So what I'm going to give you is the ultimate LinkedIn profile checklist. And Denise is going to put that into the chat room right now so you can grab it, or you can write this down or take a screenshot. What this is, it's about 10 different areas on LinkedIn that you want to update, but you can't do all this stuff overnight. It'd just be too overwhelming. Start with the headline, start with the banner, but I give you specific instructions on each of the sections. So if you download the profile checklist, you're going to get, here's the headline and what you need to have in it. Here's the about section and what you need to have in it. Here's the experience. I give you detailed information on what goes in each of those sections. You can use it as a checklist. So you can check each of the boxes as you get each section filled in, and make sure you have your LinkedIn set up so that when hot prospects get there, they know that you're the person they want to hire, and so that your profile ranks really high on Google. So even if they're not searching you by name, they'll get your profile popped up on LinkedIn right in front of their face if they're searching for you by industry and by your location. So grab the ultimate profile checklist now. Okay, we are done for today, Denise. Not quite. We're going to do some Q&A. Your success here depends on your strategy plus taking action. Daily action over the long course of time is going to get you results. If you go post tomorrow and think you're going to get a whole bunch of clients overnight, it ain't going to happen. You need to be consistent, just like working out. I've been working out for 2 months. I tore my tendon in my foot. It hurts, but I'm not going to stop. I keep going back and working out because I know that action over time is what's going to equal my success. And that will be the same for you. All right, what is one thing you're all going to do as a result of our time together today? Please put your action in the chat room so we can celebrate with you. And Denise, we are ready for Q&A, my friend. Did you guys get massive value out of our time together today? Whew.
Yes.
Oh, I can breathe now. Awesome.
We certainly did. You packed everything into that time, and we appreciate that. Lots of great insight, and the link I think is going to be so helpful for everyone as well to be able to kind of remember. I mean, and I loved your stories, your examples, because I know that really helps everyone kind of think about their own profile and how they would be able to get that to work. And I think as I'm looking at the chat, we had one question in here, which I think you kind of answered in your last comment, which was how many posts per week or month to get the most traction. And so what you're saying is it's got to be regular. It's not once a week I do this. It's kind of a flow that you keep engaged.
Yeah, so you can actually take the 4 power posts I gave you, do each of those per month. Well, that's 4 big posts a month, 1 a week, right? On the 4 big ones. And then just fill in the gaps. Fill in the gaps means make a quick post, share a quick piece of information. You know, PCMA has a magazine that comes out very regularly. Go grab content from the magazine and share that out with your audience. You know, that's great to have industry updates right there. Look at Harvard Business Review or Forbes or any national magazines and share articles from there. You don't have to do all the content yourself. You can find it other places. So that's putting content out there. But I got to say, Denise, the number one best thing that any salesperson could do besides putting out content is actually to go and engage with their prospects on their posts. Share their posts.
Okay. So watch for your prospects post and
yes,
engage
watch
there.
those.
Yes.
Engage there and share those. Yes.
I think that's great.
Awesome.
I'm not seeing any other questions, but I am seeing a wonderful list of action items that people are going to take. So I think that that is really exciting as well. And I love me personally, it's that engagement in what my connections post, and it's more than 5 words, and it's, you know, really to do something different than everybody else is doing. And I think that was a big aha moment for me too.
Thank you. And you know what? I
Yes.
see Will has a question in here too, Denise, which was suggested length of article, words, paragraph. Yes. So the article and the post are different. And so with the article, I suggest 350 to 500 words, Will. I'm a skimmer. I don't want to read a long article. And when you put an article in, it's going to say this article takes 2 minutes to read. So if the article takes 7 to 9 minutes to read, it's like, I don't have time to do that. I mean, even the 7-minute ab thing, I don't have time to do, right? So I don't have time to read a 7-minute article. So if it says 2 minutes, which is about 350 to 500 words, you're golden. So do that. At the end, if you have a lead magnet, put a call to action to your lead magnet. And then I always put in about the author section at the end. So about Will Engel, because if people get to your article from Google, I want them to know who you are without having to go click back to your profile. So they will want to book you. So who you are and how to get a hold of you is always a good thing at the end of the article. Make it skimmable, short paragraphs, especially for decision makers like you guys work with. They're skimmers, you know, they want lots of bullet points, highlight, bold. If you go to my LinkedIn profile under articles, scroll down a ways, there is an article on tips for creating your own blogs. And I actually give you some ideas on how you can easily create blogs by interviewing other people who are your prospects. So go check that out. And I think we got all the rest of the questions. And great job, everybody, with your next steps. I can't wait to see all the things that you guys are going to create. Make sure you connect with me because I want to see all the amazing work that you're doing. All right.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. We are so excited to be able to have this opportunity with all of you and with the group. And we thank the group for being with us today, and just wish everybody a good rest of the afternoon.